Welcome in. What was that I just said? Welcome in? Welcome in? What am I saying? Happy Tuesday. Tuesday, 3:30 Central PM. Texas time. Come in. Where are you from? Tell me where you're from. If you're joining us live, make sure you let us know in the comments if you can hear me okay, see me okay. For those of you that are joining us post after this is recorded, hello, how are ya? Don't let us know how you're doing in the comments because, you can if you want to. I guess I can't stop you, right? So, exciting episode for us today. We've been on a roll here for the live streams. We've been done one every day since Friday of last week. So I think this is my fifth one straight. I'm having so much fun doing them that I can't stop, literally. So, come in and let us know how you're doing. My chat interface, for some reason, is not pulling in comments right now, which is always fun. But I can see you guys coming in from my other screen. We got London, we have Phoenix, we have people live right now. So thank you so much for coming in. And if you do want to join the live stream at any point to ask a question or share a thought about the topic we're talking about today, make sure you check the description. There's a link for everyone to jump in and ask a question live if you'd like, anytime during the stream, because we like to keep these very, very, interactive. And I want the community to take part of these discussions as much as humanly possible. So that's in the description. And then if you ever are enjoying this show while you're watching it, or if you're watching it after it's recorded, hit the like button. It helps the channel. It helps more people see this video, and you will get absolutely nothing. Thank you so much, except for love and appreciation, right? Cool. Yeah, my comments are not showing up in my streaming software. The only thing I get is this message. So hopefully that fixes itself. I'm going to try doing a couple things here, but yeah, a little annoying, but we'll get it solved. I can still see your comments though, so no big worry. I can still see your comments. I don't know if I'll be able to pull them up until this thing fixes itself. So today's topic, Model Y. There was a tweet that was shared by our friend Sawyer Merritt. If you don't follow Sawyer on Twitter, please do follow him. Please do follow him. He shared a cool little news article here that reads, more Tesla Model Ys were sold in China last month than any other passenger vehicle, electric gas compact sedan, SUVs, all included. So Model Y is the best-selling vehicle in June in all of China, right? That's pretty insane. That's pretty insane. And the one thing we have to keep in mind is that this is before any of the Shanghai improvements, factory improvements that were put in place or are being put in place as we speak. I believe that shutdown started earlier this month. Correct me if I'm wrong. So in June, it reached that milestone. What is it going to do once we have that factory up and running all the way? And it looks like my comments are starting to come through. Thank goodness, but everything's duplicated. Thank you, Restream. Just wants to make sure I don't miss anything. So one of the things that's really exciting about that prospect of that news article is that it's really starting to show just how much of a lead Model Y is going to start creating here as every single factory is being ramped up into 2023. And so what I wanted to do for this one live stream is to really walk through an exercise of, with everybody here, what are the implications that we could really see from Model Y actually becoming, from all the signs and data points that we're getting, the best-selling vehicle, period, in the world, right? So if we go back to Sawyer's tweet, we saw that Model Y in China, which is a market that's super nationalistic, meaning that either through forces by the government or not, it really relies heavily upon its sort of local manufacturers. That's not to say that that economy doesn't purchase foreign cars. Obviously, Tesla Model Y was the best-selling car in June, but a lot of local manufacturers, especially EV manufacturers, get a lot of push from the government, and the public tends to purchase those cars. Yet we have this American car maker who was able to negotiate with the Chinese government to essentially be 100% owned by Tesla, which is the first time that's ever been done in the history of China, as far as I know. And in the month of June, before any factory improvements that are, set to go live here in the next few weeks, best-selling car in the country, period. Best-selling car, more than any other passenger vehicle. So that already feels to me like a precursor for the words that were spoken by Elon as far as Model Y becoming the best-selling vehicle globally will come true. So let's run through a quick exercise. I have a spreadsheet that I've put together for a long time that shows us, or attempts to show us, because this is all, this is just me sitting down and doing some math, right? And I want to very, very clearly state that this is not at all investment advice. This is just something that I do for fun. And even though it's super nerdy and not a lot of people consider sitting in front of a spreadsheet fun, this is fun for me. But what I wanted to walk us through is, okay, what's going to happen here once Model Y, like what does it actually mean for Model Y to get to that point of best-selling car? So in 2022, let's start with 2022. I have a target of 1.5 million cars sold total by Tesla in this year once it's done. It's probably going to be over what it's actually what's actually going to happen here for real. I haven't actually sat down and rejiggered some of the numbers, but I want to be slightly optimistic. And then once Q3 comes out, I'm going to actually go in and change it for the full year just to kind of get some confirmation of data that could potentially happen. But 1.5 million cars, I'm estimating 850,000 of those being Model Y. Okay. Now, what does that mean within the context of every other vehicle? In 2019, which was before the pandemic, the best-selling passenger vehicle globally was Toyota Corolla. And that vehicle sold roughly 1.15 million units in that year, 1.15 million. Toyota Corolla at that time, the average selling price was roughly $20,000 to $22,000. But what's interesting about that is if we look into 2023, so next year, once we have every single factory ramped up, Berlin, Austin, the Shanghai improvements, any Fremont improvements, right? I'm estimating Tesla to do roughly 2.2, 2.3 million cars total for the year. And I'm estimating about 1.3 million of those is going to be Model Y. Okay? And so if we take that assumption, 1.3 million already puts us above the Corolla numbers for 2019, which were pre-pandemic. We all know that during 2020, 2021, every single automaker has suffered great losses. They're shrinking, except for Tesla and a few others that are out there, especially in China. And then all the brand new automakers like Lucid and Rivian and all those guys should be doing better this year, just because they started at such a low, when you start at zero, there's only one way up, one way to go but up. And I'm not trashing these companies. I think these companies are doing great things. They're advancing us to sustainable transportation, right? These are all great things. So 1.3 million. So what does that mean within the context of Tesla and how much money they're going to generate from that vehicle and what is it going to look like from an impact to society, right? So if we take that 1.3 million, and I jotted down some numbers here. So 1.3 million. If we take 1.3 million vehicles and then we base it off of the average selling price of a Tesla Model Y, and I picked it to be around $70,000 per vehicle. And the way I did that, let me show you how I did that, is I went to the Tesla.com website. I pulled up Model Y. I went order now, did a purchase price, and I looked at these two numbers. I'm like, okay, so $66,000 for a Model Y long range or $70,000 for a Model Y performance. Okay, cool. So I'm going to assume a lot of the sales are going to go Model Y long range. Some of them will probably buy a color or two. So call it blue, some of them. Some of them might want to get fancy and buy the red for $2,000. Some folks will want to add a wheel, which is about $2,000. It's $2,000 to get the upgraded wheels for the non-performance version. Some people may want to add a tow hitch. right? Some people might want to get a wide interior, which is $1,000. Some people might want to add a 7-seat, right? Some people might want to add enhanced autopilot, but that's already included in the price of $66,000. Okay. So if we go to continue payment, we can see that a Model Y long range dual motor at base with the red paint, wheels, premium interior, 7-seater with enhanced autopilot, no full self-driving, just enhanced autopilot, total is $80,000. Okay, $80,000. So to be conservative, I said, you know what? I think the majority of the sales that are going to apply to Model Y is going to be around the range of $66,000 to $70,000 because, as we know, a lot of people like to go fast, and a lot of people are going to really enjoy having full self-driving capability as it gets better. So, and if we look at performance with just full self-driving added and none of the other options, actually, I'm sorry, all the other options are added here. My apologies. It's $86,000. So I feel like $70,000 for a Model Y is okay. I think that's a pretty conservative sort of price target for the car. In the comments, let me know if you agree with that or not. So what does that mean? $70,000, 1.3 million vehicles sold. I did some quick math here before the stream because I'm prepared. Oh my goodness. So if it's 1.3 million Tesla Model Ys, which again, if we go back to 2023, that's what I think is going to happen, not investment advice, but that's what I think is going to happen in 2023. 1.3 million cars at $70,000 ASP. I'm bringing myself to a big face here. Hello. That's $91 billion in revenue. $91 billion in revenue. If you contrast that to the Toyota Corolla, which in 2019 was 1.15 million, and is bound to be significantly higher than whatever was sold in 2020 and 2021 due to the pandemic and everybody having chip shortages and all the known supply chain issues that everybody, is aware of, then that vehicle, if we assume an average selling price of $28,000, which if we do a quick Google search, and I'll show you how I got that number, Toyota Corolla average selling price, and I go to this website, which is very helpful, Car Gurus. I don't know if you guys have heard of that website. You can view the average selling price by model. Okay, this is probably going to be in the United States. So Car Gurus tracks millions of used car listings every year. Someone assumed this is in the United States, but it's probably applicable globally just with an exchange rate to the currency. 2019, it was about 21,000. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not even sharing my screen. Look, I'm such a rookie. My goodness. 2019 is 21,000. 2020 is 23.5 thousand. 2021 is 25,000. And 2022 is 28,000, right? Now, a fair question would be, who would buy a Toyota Corolla for $28,000? Would you buy a Toyota Corolla for $28,000? I don't know. I don't know if I would, okay? But let's give Toyota the benefit of the doubt, and let's assume that there is a ton of demand for a Toyota Corolla at $28,000 and that their sales will recover to 1.15 million cars for that specific vehicle. 1.15 million Corolla sold times $28,000 per vehicle. That's a revenue of roughly $32 billion. If we compare that to the $91 billion of Model Y is not only going to have more units sold per year than the Corolla in the best case scenario for the Corolla and the Model Y. Let's just be fair. These are both probably best case scenarios. Although some might argue that it's not for Tesla, but we'll set that aside. 1.3 million vehicles for Model Y, 1.15 million vehicles for Corolla, 28,000, 70,000. That's 91 billion for Model Y in revenue. That's 32 billion for Corolla. That's 3x. 3x, the best-selling passenger vehicle globally. Pretty freaking crazy, okay? But then you'll say, okay, you know what? The Corolla is a small sedan. What else does Toyota have that's going to be super high volume, right? Because again, we're looking at best-selling vehicles here. We're selling units, the individual units that are being sold every single year. Because I really think I'm trying to get to my point. It's going to take a while, but there's a reason why I'm comparing large volumes, not necessarily cross-class, but large volumes. The RAV4. So RAV4 is another car that Toyota sells that is extremely popular globally. That one, on the research that I did, is about 1,070,000 cars per year in 2019, which was best case scenario, the Toyota RAV4. Okay, that car sells roughly, from the research that I did online, the average selling price is about $32,000 if we take 2022 pricing. 32,000. If you compare that to the Corolla, which was 28,000, that makes sense. About $4,000 more expensive, roughly $5,000 if you want to just round up to sort of take the hundreds and round them up, okay? So the way to test that, to make sure that we had that right, what I like to do is to go in, and I feel like I'm giving you guys a breakdown of how to do a little bit of analysis, but if you guys are enjoying it, that's awesome. If not, I'm sorry, just bear with me. I'm going to get to my point. So Model Y long range, dual motor, we have to keep that in mind, starts at 65.9, okay? Then if we go and look at the Model 3 price, and we look at a similarly spec'd Model 3 long range with dual motor, is about $58,000, okay? But the one thing we have to keep in mind here is that these are luxury vehicles. So $58,000, $65,000, that's roughly what, an $8,000 difference. So the RAV4 for me going up to $32,000, I feel comfortable because it's on a lower price range, and you're not going to have as much pricing elasticity between those two things, right? You're not going to have as much of an elasticity because people are much more price conscious at that level. Now you could say, okay, you know what? Take the RAV4 to $35,000. We can do that. That's no problem. Let's take it up to $35,000. But here's the deal. That's a 10% increase, right? If we take 1.07 million RAV4s that are sold, and when we times that by the $32,000 that the RAV4 costs, let's say, that's roughly $34 billion in revenue. And then if we say, you know what, it was $35,000, take that up 10%, $37 billion in revenue. Model Y was $91 billion. So it's still a massive, massive gulf in that from a revenue perspective. But the key point here, I think it's kind of hard to follow in some circles, especially maybe on the bear side, is I think people are massively discounting just how transformative, and I think this is happening in some markets, just how transformative the mass number of Model Ys on the road is going to be within the timing of where Tesla is going to be from a product perspective. So in a situation, so say fast forward to the end of 2023, beginning of 2024, and Tesla is able to sell that 2.3 million cars, which will be well within their 50% year-over-year guidance of units sold. And 1.3 million of those is Model Y, which is very, very likely given the amount of machinery and capacity they're building into their factories. 1.3 million Model Ys roughly. Say they even just match the Corolla or are slightly above it. They can very easily come out and say, Model Y best-selling car globally. Not just EVs, globally. Model Y, best-selling car globally. Boom. Headline. Every news article, every news site, every single person is going to take that and run with that headline because it's Tesla, it has the name, and everybody's going to click on it. And it's a big achievement. Best-selling vehicle. Best-selling vehicle, most volume sold, period. Forget about the revenue it's going to generate. Units. Okay? And then you put that within the context of the fact that Cybertruck is going to be ramping, and it's already going to be out there. Right? People are going to see it. They're going to have in their headline, oh my God, Tesla has the best-selling car. And they're going to see this Cybertruck driving around. Holy crap, that's the company that's making the best-selling car makes that too. That's freaking cool. Right? Within the context of robotaxis launching potentially and full self-driving getting to a point where people are actually using it and it's generating revenue for the company. Oh crap, that's the company that's making the best-selling car in the world. That's the company that's making the car that's generating the most sales in the world from a dollar perspective. Like these are things people are going to start thinking about within the context of what's going on the road. And I don't know if you guys have seen this. Definitely drop it in the comments below. But my area is like flooding. I live in the Austin area, flooding with Teslas. Like literally, I would say it's probably the most common brand that I see lately on the roads. I'm not even kidding. There are some days where I'm confident that if I were to count the brands, like the different makers that are on the road, Tesla would be at or near the top. Now, if you count, say, in a way, I'm discounting Ford's F-150s because every single construction company has those. Okay, so I'm sort of eliminating pickup trucks right now because they just don't play in that arena and they don't have any competing car to that. But if we remove pickup trucks and look at just every other vehicle, Tesla blows everybody away. Now, when Cybertruck comes out, what is that going to do? You know, in this area, I'm pretty confident that when Cybertruck comes out, they just win. They just outright. You know how you used to have punch buggy in the day? Like, I don't know if you guys would play punch buggy. You would see a Volkswagen Beetle on the road. You go, oh, punch buggy. Haha, got you. You can't claim anything that you can do to stop me or whatever. You boom, punch buggy in your face. Oh, hopefully your arm. But if you have a mean friend, right in the face, right? Tesla's becoming that. So when are people going to start playing the punch buggy version of Tesla? And what would that game be called? You know, punch Tesla. Saw a Cybertruck. If I see a Cybertruck, I punch in the face. Model 3 in the nuts. I don't know. Okay, it's. I don't think culture is. I think we're somewhat discounting the cultural impact of something like this happening. I think it's going to make a way bigger difference to the overall acceptability of Tesla, and it's going to take it to a brand new level. And if you guys thought we were mainstream now, I don't think we're even close. I don't think we're even close. I think once those news articles come out, the Model Y's best-selling car, within the context of everything else that's happening, it's going to take it to a completely different level. And then we're going to have a mass of people that are going to join the community that are in the periphery right now that have no idea that this is even a possible thing for next year, that the Model Y will be best-selling car in the world, period. And they're going to go and be like, holy crap. So Tesla is not just a car that, you know, that's just making some cars for some people. They have the best-selling vehicle. Now, of course, it's $70,000. As we saw, on average, most likely it's going to be around $70,000. But what do you think is going to happen once you have that mentality as a public and Tesla comes out with a cheaper vehicle or the robo-taxi, or they figure out how to bring the Model 3 down back to where it was at $35,000, right? It's insane. If you thought everybody wanted Tesla now, just wait. Now, you can make an argument that, okay, so, well, they can say, well, everybody has one now, so nobody, you know, they're not going to want to buy a Tesla, they're going to want to buy someone else's car. But who? Who else is going to have nearly as much output by 2023, 2024 to be able to match the demand that's going to generate from all those people sitting in the periphery wanting to buy an electric car? I had a friend when I was in Cancun on vacation. He's seriously considering buying an electric vehicle next year because his lease runs out on his BMW. And this is a person that would have never bought an EV before. And now he's like, dude, I see freaking EVs everywhere and gas is so expensive. And I see where this is going. And I need to get an EV. It's just Tesla has such a large backlog and I have to wait forever to get one. It's not going to work out. I'm like, well, I would wait and see. You know, there's a lot of capacity being built. I would wait and see. Because I think there's a lot more going on there than just waiting. I think that the waiting is going to come down dramatically as all factories are ramped up. And really, the reason why we haven't really heard much from Elon, I bet you, in those last few weeks, and it seems kind of, I can feel a little bit of like hesitancy or like a little bit of, I don't know what's going on right now from the community because, you know, they've stressed out with the Twitter stuff. Like this is, while I was working at the company, these are the times when stuff gets done. This is when everything gets done at the company. When it feels like nothing, like there's there's a lot of bad news or crappy things are happening around the company with news articles or whatever, this is when everybody's nose down getting stuff done because everybody's really motivated. And don't forget that those layoffs they had recently to sort of right-size the company, all those people are extremely motivated right now because some of the blockages have been removed, and they made sure that the people that are supposed to be working are working. And now stuff is really, 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 really getting done. So I couldn't help but just go down that train of thought when I saw that article that said Model Y is the best-selling car in China in June, because boy, is that a precursor for the entire world. So I'm very excited about that. Anyway, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Drop it in the comments. Let's read some comments. And if you want to come on live, I don't know how to use my computer. If you do want to come on and ask a question or share a thought or comment, there's a link. The only thing I ask is that you have your video camera on, and you have decent audio. And that's it. Michael says, there are so many Tesla Model Ys in my area. It's totally normal to be driving around in pods of 5 or 6 of them. What area are you from, Michael? Because there's been many times where I'll be on a traffic light and it's Model 3, Model Y, Model Y, Model S. Sorry, F-150. You know? Barry says, I agree. Production and deliveries will be wild in 2023. People are not ready. I think it's still being massively discounted for some reason. It's a lot of like wait and see. Like wait and see for like, what are we waiting and seeing? I sound so biased right now. Is that bad? My guess is that other cars, Marcus says, sorry. My guess is that other cars and Teslas and some Chinese brands will become extremely rare. Mercedes, BMW, VW, and Ford will face the same fate as old German photo camera brands like Rollei, Leica. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that if they're not really jumping on really getting their production to where it needs to be, they're going to have the same fate. You know? Here's a question from Not Sure. How big is the market for $50,000 to $70,000 vehicles? Tesla will eventually have to move into lower price segments once they can keep up with demand for their existing models, and they will. Yeah, that's a really good question, but I think the one comment that comes up around that is that I think we may live in a time where we've massively repriced what people are willing to pay for a technology. And a lot of people draw parallel to, say, the smartphone industry and Apple, for example. So Apple with the iPhone redefined what it means to pay for a phone. Back in the day, you would be caught dead trying to sell a phone to a person for $1,000 a month, or $1,000 period. Right? How much were people paying for a phone? Like $100? And again, let's inflation adjust, so maybe $200. Right? They weren't paying $1,000, but that's the reason why it changed is because the iPhone and smartphones in general, became much more than just a phone. They became a supercomputer in your pocket. They became a thing that would allow you to create media, with like just record videos and stuff. They had a super powerful camera. They had a web browser. Okay. I think electric vehicles are following a very similar sort of curve where they're not just a car. I mean, Tesla, would you say your Tesla is just a car? I don't think it's just a car. And do let me know. Maybe we'll create a poll. Let's do that. Let's create a poll and ask our beautiful community. Let's see. Is a Tesla car just a car? And we'll ask it. And then while we have that poll up, we have our first guest. And Richard is back. How's it going, my friend?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good, man. Good, man. How can I help you?
I think what you're saying is that when people see Tesla as a car, as opposed, that's when we know the world has changed. When it loses the kind of the significant. So, I think of it as like Camry lost the Toyota. Camry ended up being like the largest selling car in the United States, but it wasn't considered a Toyota. It was a Camry. It's kind of that way. So when it kind of loses kind of mainstream, it loses that title. It just becomes a car, but it's no longer like out of the ordinary. So that's when I think society's. I think you were talking about the numbers for 2023. So you're saying just car revenue, $50 billion a year, which means gross profit. If you were talking about 9 and another, million cars at whatever the number you pick, and at a 30% gross profit, you're talking over 45 billion in gross profit. Huge. And that's probably notwithstanding a recession.
Right.
Notwithstanding the recession.
Yeah. I would.
Anyway, thanks.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you're going down the right path. You're definitely going down the right path with that thought process, and even put like the profitability of the company aside. I think just the vast number of Teslas on the road are really going to drive not just the awareness, but like knowing that Tesla's the best selling car globally through headlines and everything, and then going out and people actually saying, oh yeah, you know what, you're right, because I freaking see them everywhere. I think those two things together are really going to create a culture shift around what it really means to be mainstream. And then, so where we think about right now, Tesla's demand, they have a year backlog. So say they have 2 million car backlog. I think those two things combine of, oh yeah, Tesla's has the best selling car globally, and I see them everywhere. I think it's going to make a lot of people very comfortable that were usually in the sidelines, very comfortable to truly consider Tesla being their next purchase. And then we're going to go from, say, 2 to 3 million actual total buyers in the world right now, or maybe 5 million to 50 million. So it's going to be this sort of step change of how many people are actually willing to sit down and buy a Tesla vehicle. It's going to completely transform.
Kind of like the S curve.
That's exactly right. It's going to be. Yeah. That's exactly right. Those two things happening is going to be like the verticality of the S curve, and I think that's going to be the match that lights it. Yeah. But thank you, Richard. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Good day.
You too, man.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Richard's awesome. I think Richard's been on for the last 3 in a row. Richard's the man. All right, anybody that wants to jump on? We have the link right here. I just asked that camera is good and audio is good. We did have a little bit of lag there with Richard, I think, with his audio, but that's okay. We work through it. Why don't these videos appear in podcast form anymore? I don't have time to watch on TV, but always downloaded the pod. Yeah, so I've been a little behind getting those uploaded because I've been on vacation for the last, feels like forever. But the first one just came on today, and then moving forward, the backlog is gonna be populated. So there's about 5 that we need to upload, but yeah, those will be uploaded soon. I'm a one-man show, so it's sometimes tough, but I got you. They're gonna be coming back. Don't worry. All right, we have another caller in, but I can't see his video. Let's see if we can help him fix that. Joshua, I see a black screen. Oh, he's got a... Can I see you? Are you there? Very laggy.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
There we go. I can hear you.
I think you're super laggy and glitchy. Try see if you can find a better spot for your internet and close out and try back in and see if it's better. All right? Cool. All right. So we'll let Joshua fix his camera, and then we'll have him back on. Perfect. Awesome. How is Model Y 4680 consumption compared to 2170? Anyone? I believe Monroe has a Model Y with a battery pack that's ready to be analyzed, and I think Corey just posted a video saying that they're working hard to get in there and figure out what's going on. It's just, I think the foam is very hard to work around. That's the biggest limiting factor. Shout out, Jordan. Yeah. All right. What other questions do you guys have? Any other observations around the Model Y that you'd like to talk about? There's another comment here. It will be just a car in 2030, the same way as today an iPhone is just an iPhone, but today's cars will be what today Nokia 5150 is. Yeah, and is the 5110. 5110 was the brick, right? That was the thing you could throw at windows or like the floor, and it would like leave a hole in the floor in concrete. That's a great point. I think the utility of a car long term is going to be completely redefined, and what it means to be a car really is going to transition quite a bit. You know, we have another caller on. We have Magnus. Magnus, can you hear me, my friend?
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're a little soft, but it should be good enough.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, and
okay.
quite a lot of blur. Sorry.
No problem. How can I help you?
Yeah. I'm just joining in. I thought I was like going into the lobby, so I was immediately kicked into the stream. So not really prepared for a question or anything. Just
we move fast here. We move fast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's true.
That's right. What's up?
Yeah. So I just listening and enjoying the show basically. So I don't really have anything to share. Just I'll take a thumbs up for your live streams.
Okay.
So
thank you, man. Yeah. I really appreciate that, man.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you, and thank you for stopping in and sharing your thoughts, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Bye. That was so sweet. Aw. That was awesome. That was awesome. Oh my God, Buck in the flesh. How's it going, dude?
What's up, Farzad? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. How you been?
Yeah, been great, man. I don't like to hear this and don't like to take time for it, but kudos to you, man, with what you're doing on the channel. It's like you're taking the Tesla work ethic and the ideas and applying it to YouTube. You're doing different stuff, man. It's awesome. Really appreciate it,
brother. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's one of those, like, I'm constantly like thinking, what can I do that's different, or I don't even know if it's better or worse, but like I want to keep it fresh, and I just can't help but experiment and have this anxiety of like, oh my God, I'm not trying something different, you know? So that's super kind, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And then
that's really kind.
Well, yeah. So compliments to you, man. So yeah, just a quick comment. And I was thinking right when you said this about comparing it to Apple and iPhones. I mean, I think, we think a lot about what Tesla can do and what they can do to move forward EVs, but a lot of it, I think, is just going to be time. I think once people sort of get over the hesitance to move towards EVs, it's going to more naturally progress. I mean, before somebody to buy an iPhone, they thought it was just crazy. Like, what do you need all that stuff for? I can make a call on my phone right here. Why do I need to do GPS and all the other things that go along with it? But now you got grandmas and grandpas. They're all using iPhones, right? So
that's right.
So in due time, I think it's just going to naturally sort itself out, and Tesla's going to be killing it. And to your point, it's not just a car, and it won't be. So.
Yeah, no, that's a great observation. It's hard not to draw that parallel. I feel like, it's like sometimes I feel like the media, or like on the bear side, they're like, well, it's not just the phones, you can't draw the parallel. But like, man, it's like, it's hard not to, because it's acceptance of the next generation of technology within that space, right? So telecommunications, it went from just phone to do everything thing in your pocket. Transportation is going to go from death machine that you have to struggle with other people on the road to thing that takes you from point A to point B. You can enjoy like you would your house with entertainment, so on and so forth. Like, why wouldn't it be that thing? Why wouldn't it be that thing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a lot of us are on the same wavelength, but I still feel like it's not well understood. Which blows my mind, but we'll see. Hopefully
and it may be the iPhone. We may get rid of phones down the road. Who knows?
Right, exactly.
It'll be the phone in the pocket. Yeah, man. Yeah.
We're always on the road. Yeah,
good
man.
deal,
Thank
man.
you so much for coming on, brother. Like, really appreciate your kind words, man.
Yeah,
you're
take care.
Big fan of the show, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Mary Bar rules. Take care.
That's right. Yeah. Take it easy, brother. Bye.
See you, man.
That's awesome. Buck is the man. Buck's been around for a while, ever since we started, I think, and he's been following the channel. So, dude, I really appreciate Buck so much. Magnus, I see a logo, but I can't see you. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Magnus might be an AI that nobody can hear. Oh, my goodness. All right. Magnus, I don't know if you can...
Did I pop in again? Why did I do that? Do I have to leave again? I'm sorry,
you would have to leave. That's right.
Sorry,
it's okay.
Yeah.
You're good, bro.
Okay.
You're good.
Have a good one.
I love it. Look at this. Nothing's scripted, guys. You think this is scripted? I don't know what I'm doing. Do I look like I know what I'm doing? Psh. Never believe it. Never believe that I know what I'm doing. All right, we got 2 guests at the same time. I'm going to bring in Wolf first, and then I'm going to go to Joshua next. All right? Actually, I'm going to do Joshua first because I think he's got his audio figured out now. We got Joshua?
Yes.
All
Can
right.
you hear me?
I got you, bro. How's it going?
Okay. Hey, how are you doing? I'm doing good.
Doing great.
So before the, I don't know if you can talk about pandemic on YouTube, but before that situation, we got reports that over 50% of the world's population's in urban areas. Like, I think that was 2019, maybe a little bit before.
Yeah.
Maybe it's reversed a little bit since then. But how do you see vehicle ownership in the future if you could effectively run a efficient robo-taxi network, at least in the big cities? And
yeah, I think that's a great question. It's one that is, it's hard to sort of wrap your head around until you have until it goes live, because there's so many different variables that go along with it, right? So what's one of the first variables is when you have super densely populated areas and you have a bunch of, say, self-driving electric vehicles, what does that mean for parking, right? So that's one big one that comes up, because now you have literally, it's like you just have things moving at all times, and then the percentage of cars that are not going to be moving is going to go down tremendously. So that's one. And then 2 is the number of vehicles you would need to move the same amount of people around is going to come down theoretically, because you have way better utilization of vehicles. But I think the variable that gets missed in that calculation is the cost of entry for the vehicle. I think is going to come down tremendously. Whereas now you would have to pay, I don't know, especially like say New York City, because that's the one I'm most familiar with when I used to live in Pennsylvania. It costs an arm and a leg to pay for fuel and for parking and for the car and for tax and for tags and everything. So the total cost of ownership for a vehicle is through the roof. And even if you wanted to use Uber as an example, it's still quite a bit of money you have to pay every month. Whereas if you had a full self-driving car that runs on electricity, and you have solar and batteries to really bring down the cost of that running that car, then you go to pennies on the dollar. So you have a lot more people that are going to be able to afford that technology and being able to move around in an electric vehicle. So I'm on the camp that I think the net number of vehicles is going to go up over time for sure, because the cost of entry for that technology is going to be very accessible. And but it's hard to predict what that's going to look like and how long it's going to take. It might take 20 years, it might take 100 years, but if everybody has access to move around in a private self-driving car, why wouldn't everybody use it if it's like literally pennies on the dollars? And sort of that's where I stand, especially if it's got TVs and you can play video games on it. Right. Feels like a pretty badass thing. I don't know if that answers the question, but that's kind of how I think about it.
Real quick, you said net number of vehicles. Do you mean the total vehicles that are autonomous, or the total vehicles that are driving on the road at the same time?
Both.
Okay.
So they're both going to yeah. I think we're going to go from 100 million cars sold a year to 300 million cars sold a year, if that helps, because I think that as long as they're full self-driving, yeah. I could be 100% wrong though, so don't take me as gospel, but that's how I think about it. Yeah. Thanks for jumping on, man.
I got you.
Appreciate the question.
Yeah, thanks.
Take it easy, man. Bye. All right. We're bringing our next guest. We have 2 folks on the waiting list. I'm going to go with, let's see, Vasily next, and then we'll do Elex next. All right. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, good, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can. A little low, but I can boost you on my end. Or you can get closer, whichever works. What's up?
I get louder. So I think the democratization of media is the most important thing in terms of Tesla selling vehicles. I don't think they need to advertise. I don't think advertising is the way. I think that advertisers are basically propping up these media companies, and I think that the fact that Tesla is saying that they don't want to do that is going to solve the problem of basically this feedback loop of advertisers paying, media benefiting from that. And I just feel like once those models go bust, Tesla and the democratization of media is going to proliferate, and it's going to cause, I mean, people are going to have way more stock in individuals like you who are on YouTube, you're going to be getting an audience. I mean, people like what's his name, Tom Nash, who was on the other day, have a way bigger audience than people on MSNBC and on Fox. There's a couple of personalities on these major networks that do better, but I mean, you guys are the future, and you know that, right?
I don't know. I mean, it definitely feels like there is a trend to more individual voices for sure that are driving the conversation. There's definitely a move away from networks and companies that are, basically the ones that are driving information forward. And it feels weird to say that as somebody who's part of that YouTube game now, and I'm one of those like individuals that's part of that democratization of media, if as you called it. But I think that's a very interesting point. And so I guess what you're envisioning is over time, as there's more and more of that, because there's so many voices that are independent, that are pro-Tesla, they are the ones that are really going to drive the message of, hey, don't listen to these surface level news articles that are coming out from these networks. Listen to the individuals that actually understand the company. And as more and more trust grows within those circles, then more and more people are willing to buy the car. Is that sort of how you're thinking about it?
It's not even just trust, it's eyeballs, right? It's like they're monetizing eyeballs. They are monetizing viewership. And viewership, I mean, right now in this economy, in this world that we live in, trust is at a premium, truth is at a premium, and they are not purveyors of trust or truth. So I mean, they're not purveyors of trust, which is truth, which is causing people not to trust them, which is causing people to flock to YouTube. And some of the stuff on YouTube is terrible. Some of the people are terrible, writing garbage. I mean, that is part of the problem of democratizing content, is that a lot of it's going to be trash, and there is a lot of trash on there. And you're one of the good ones. There's a lot. Rob Carr, Steven's my go-to hype man. Steve Mark,
sure.
If I'm feeling bad about the stock, I'll just go to him. But there's this whole ecosystem now that's kind of popped up, and we know, we see the new personalities that are trying to make it through, and they're kind of not really contributing. It's not for me. But there's 5 or 6 guys now in the Tesla community that are. I feel very good about this stock. I feel very good about this company, and I wouldn't feel that way if my only source of information was MSNBC or CNBC or Fox or CNN, because I feel like there's backroom ploys to get they're shorting stocks, they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't trust any of that stuff. Why would I?
Yeah, no, I think that's a great observation. It's going to be fascinating to see how that plays out. And honestly, thank you for grouping me with the good ones, because it's still such a new experience for me. But yeah, that's a great observation, and I agree with you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for jumping on and sharing your thoughts, man. Appreciate you. Take it easy, brother. Bye. All right. This is great. We got a lot of participation here. We got another one. Elex, did I pronounce your name right, sir?
Close enough. It's Alex, but...
Oh, Alex. Okay, sorry. You should, a name like mine, I should be like, oh my God, can you pronounce it first? And I'm over here trying out names. Alex, how you doing, my friend?
Doing outstanding. How about yourself?
I'm doing great, man. How can I help you?
Yeah, so to your question of is Tesla just a car? And I would say today, in 2022, it's just a car, right? I mean, it does way more than any car I've ever driven. And you can tell by my beard, I'm pretty old now, right? Does more than any car I've ever driven, better than any car. But I just use it to drive. I think that what's going to really change the game is 2 things. One, when full self-driving is full-fledged, no regulatory limitations on it, I think that's going to change the game. And 2, vehicle to grid or vehicle to home or whatever, when I can use my vehicle to do more than just get in it and drive, right? So when I can put my car out there and tell it to go out there and drive people and be a automated Uber, easy money, right? And then also when I can tell it to back up my house in a grid down situation, easy money, right? I will gladly spend the extra to get up to that next level.
Yeah.
So
Those are great observations. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think what's cool about the Tesla ecosystem is that, and the technology is that all those two things full self-driving is obviously well known, but vehicle to grid is something that I feel like they can just do like that. And I still don't understand why they haven't done it, because it would be such a cool competitive advantage. And yeah, it might be an extra $1,000 per vehicle, but if it takes your demand from, it's probably a demand thing, to be completely honest, because I think once they get to a point where the capacity of the demand of the public is at the point where you would bring on, say, 20-30% more buyers, and they have the capacity to actually build those cars, I think at that point they would do vehicle to grid. And to your point, it will add yet another layer of, hey, guess what? This is not just a car. It's like a do everything thing that does media and drives you. And like you said, and the point of a backup, now the car's adding juice to your vehicle. Would you have a use for that today if the car was able to add electricity back to the grid, or to your house rather?
So absolutely, right. So right now I have Tesla Solar with two power walls. I'm looking at them right now. I'm sitting in my garage, and nice. I'm up here in Virginia, outside of DC, and at the beginning of the year we had that major winter storm that blew through, and a lot of folks out here were without power for well into a week. In fact, I was one of the people that was inviting people over to my house, like, hey, you don't have power? I do. Come on over. But at one point, a couple of days in, we were down to the wire. Like, we're looking at the remaining battery power. We were down to the single digits, and that's when you start to really, you're concerned. My roof is probably 30 plus feet up, and wait for me to get up there and knock the snow off the panels.
Yeah.
But if I had my car, I would have been able to, I don't even know how much more capacity this car is, the Model Y is than the Powerwall, but it'd have been an amazing amount more, several more days of power.
2 to 3x at least, I would say.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the Powerwall is like 10 kilowatt hours, and then two of them is 20. Model Y pack is 70, so that's 3x right there at least. So awesome, man. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing, man. Appreciate it. All right.
You have a great day.
You too, man. Take it easy. Bye. Awesome. All right. We got Wolf. What's up, Wolf?
Hey, how's it going? I'm back again.
How's it going, man? Welcome back.
So I'm super positive on Tesla, but I do think we have to be a little careful comparing the difference between Tesla and a car to a cell phone and a smartphone.
Okay.
I think that there's a lot less difference there, right? Actually, I had it worded better earlier, but basically, the things that the Teslas will bring are definitely a couple things. You have your FSD, but that's still your robotaxi, but that's still driving, right? You're gonna have some entertainment, but you're not gonna be able to take pictures with your car. You're not gonna use it as your camera. You're not gonna use it to make sure your table's level, right? There's so many extra things that the smartphone brought to a phone that I think there will be things. I mean, you can use your Tesla as a tent, right? There are definitely features, and I think it's absolutely going to be the best car, right? I mean, I think Tesla are going to be the best cars, but I think comparing the difference to the what cell phones brought, I think it's a little further than I would go, right? Okay. But I do agree. Okay. I think Teslas will be the best car. They will be more than a car, but not quite to that degree.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I was just gonna say, unless you really think robotaxi is something truly different, but I also kind of see that as just driving you somewhere, right?
Yeah. The way I thank you for sharing that, and I completely respect it. I think the way I would push back is I would say I think there is a market for an autonomous vehicle long term to become a replacement for your house in some way. So I think there's going to be a market of people out there that are going to be, say, road nomads. Like I have a friend, I won't name him because he probably listens to this, but I don't, whatever. I think he would be perfect for that sort of market because he loves just going out and just being in remote areas, but he doesn't want to settle on an area. If you had an autonomous vehicle, like say a self-driving RV, and Tesla were able to offer something like that, I think at that point the car becomes something significantly more because you have all these multiple uses of that car. Now, of course, you won't have it it's not like equivalent to being able to do a million things through apps, but I think it broadens the definition of what a transportation vehicle is so largely that I would say percentage of people that would buy the the technology now with its additional value would be sort of similar to a smartphone versus a Nokia. So that's kind of how I think about it.
Yeah, no, I would say in general, I think we're going at the same point.
I think we're pretty aligned.
Ways. Yeah. I think you're right. I think the amount of uses won't be as good, but you're right. If you look at it as like the market and the value it brings to just the phone and Tesla as a company, or I mean the car and Tesla as a company, yeah, I think you're generally right. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be bigger than phones from that respect, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
no, I appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
Cool. It's good to
Welcome back anytime.
Yep.
Take it easy, brother.
Bye.
Bye. Awesome. We got so many people coming on. This is awesome. My boy. It's my boy.
Can you hear me?
What's up, bro? Yes, sir. This time I can. How you doing?
Up? Hey, I'm good, man. I just got about you're on, so it's like, gotta.
Yeah. You are cutting in and out a little bit. It's a little bit laggy on your end. I'm not sure what might be where you are sitting in your house, but Nicholas Gibbs, he has the channel Investing Against the Grain. Make sure you go check it out. He's my boy. He's from Spain, just like I am, and we never talk in Spanish because who would ever do that? You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
But yeah, how's it going?
Good. Is it still breaking up?
It's still breaking up. Yeah, it's still breaking up. Unfortunately, yeah.
Let me try one more thing.
Let me see. Did that work? Did that
work?
Still there? Maybe. You gotta try it again.
All right, we're talking now, testing to see.
There you go. That's a little bit better.
A little bit better. Okay, cool. Hey, man. Yeah. So I got FS out.
Nice.
I haven't talked a lot about it, but
yeah.
Anybody who's out there who hasn't used it, it's happening. It's definitely gonna happen. Not even a question. And the highest of hopes, gonna happen. It's not even a question. FSD base going to be the real deal. It's not perfect, but man, I drive that took more than one disengagement or the entire 24 straight hours. It's legit. It's next level, but it's coming.
Nice. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely cut in and out, but I think we got the overall message. You got FSD beta. It's coming. Very little disengagements. For those that are doubting it, be ready because it's going to be crazy. Yeah. Awesome, dude.
But I'll let you go. If I'm breaking up, I'll talk to you later.
All right. Nicholas will be on my channel on Wednesday for earnings next week. I'll see you then.
Peace.
Take it easy, brother.
Bye.
All right. We got Juan. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Are you driving right now?
I'm doing. How do I sound?
You sound okay, but you sure you can drive and be on this at the same time? You comfortable with that?
Oh yeah, we got autopilot. Tesla's just taking care of us right now.
Okay.
No, roads are good. Just a quick question. So, I'm currently using Tesla to drive with Uber, and I wanted to know what your thoughts are on with the Model Y coming out and it's going to be blowing up. You know, how do you think that is going to affect the rideshare business as a whole, seeing as how Tesla is going to be getting in there with the full self-driving?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Model Y is going to be a very big vehicle for ride sharing because it's got like the perfect size to be a multi-person hauler, right? So I think it's going to do really well from that perspective. People are going to be comfortable. You're going to be able to rent it out as a sort of also like a luxury car with an Uber, not renting, but like people can sort of sign up with Uber luxury or whatever it's called. So it's going to do well there. It has very low running costs, so it's going to do well there. I think the cost of entry might be the only limiting factor for that car, but as far as a rideshare vehicle, I think Model Y is going to be really, really good, especially within the Tesla network. Once they open that up, I think it's probably going to be the most popular car in the network, and it would make sense because if it does get to best-selling car globally, then I think naturally it's going to be the most popular rideshare vehicle in that network. So that's how I think about it. Let me know if that answers your question.
Yeah, and do you think there's any chance of there being a partnership between Tesla and Uber seeing how Uber has the most data when it comes to customer riding habits and how much rides they need to have and where they need to go. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think what's going to end up happening is Tesla's going to come out with their own network, and they're going to compete against Uber because it would make a lot more sense for them to do that. I think Uber will still buy, say Tesla vehicles, because Tesla's not going to block anybody from buying them. But I foresee Tesla coming out with an Uber competitor versus them partnering up with Uber and allowing sort of like Uber to use their cars for that network strictly with a partnership, if that makes any sense. I think Tesla would have the know-how and the technology to come out with a competitor. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
awesome.
Sounds good,
Thank you for coming on, man.
Time.
Appreciate you. Take it easy. Bye. Magnus is back. What's up, bro?
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I just had a question. Oh, well, actually, a bit of a question about your opinions on and thoughts about the potential for Tesla when it comes to, like, they have Starlink, they have the FSD, the robotaxi potential, and they have, well, not technically Tesla, but Elon's companies, boring company. If we combine all that, what happens with the cities? Basically,
right.
I mean, and the Tesla bot. I mean, if Tesla bot replaces like 90 to 95% of all labor, then we don't need to cluster all the people around the factories anymore,
right.
And then we can go nomading basically, and
exactly
still do like creative work on the roads. We can sleep on the roads in our cars. So, what are your opinions? Like, I guess this is like 100 years ahead in the future. Will the cities shrink, or will we still cluster together in super cities, or what's your take on that? I mean,
that's a really good question. A really good question. I think what's the most obvious thing is that there is going to be some sort of synergistic effect between all the companies is built. Like there is no way you're going to stop that, right? So the question becomes, what does that mean? Which is exactly what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
I think if transportation's really cheap and tunnels allow very easy transportation between, say, clusters of businesses and homes and whatever you want to call it. So, and the fact that you're going to have solar and batteries that are going to sort of sprawl out on the land a little bit because you're going to need surface area. I think you'll probably end up having an effect where we're going to go away from as much density in a certain area, and it's going to become more sprawled. I think. Now, the cool thing about tunnels, like Elon's talked about, is that if you do have them in, say, a vertical configuration where you can go 10 deep, as an example, you've removed the 2D limitation of a road, and now you have 3D roads, which are going to be able to much more easily allow you to have super dense centers for people to live on, you know?
Yeah.
But then the question becomes, who wants to do that? Who wants to be packed tightly again in say, I mean, people live in New York City for a reason. It's awesome. But I feel like if it becomes super cheap to have a sprawling nature of a sprawled nature of a sort of civilization where really the only limiting factor is land, then why wouldn't people go for that? Because you just get more room. And then if you need to go somewhere, it's super cheap and super fast. You go on the Hyperloop, you're there in 20 minutes. Who cares if it's 20 minutes in a Hyperloop or 20 minutes walking? I don't know.
Yeah.
So that's how I think about it. That's how I think about it.
It really liberates the planning of. I mean, the only thing that is limiting us then it's the resource extraction, and
exactly,
and that could be taken care of by the Tesla bot, for instance, and all the automated machinery. So
you got it. You got it. Yeah. Thank you, Magnus. Thank you for coming on, brother.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Take it easy. Bye. Awesome. All right, we'll go with Peter next. Actually, we'll go with Ryan. Ryan, is Ryan there? Let's try it. Ryan.
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good, man. How you doing?
Good.
How can I help you?
Yeah, I was going to say, I've been listening to you for a while, and I appreciate your channel. Just wanted to ask you, there was a caller that came on earlier, a couple ago that said about FSD. I also feel that we're pretty close here to getting that solved. How far away do you think regulation is behind that, though? I think that's, That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we'll solve for FSD, but kind of be stuck waiting on the regulation, to follow that. So that for actually, something to take off. I'm starting to see a lot of FUD, about accidents and stuff like that. So I know we're getting close.
Yeah,
I know we're getting close. So yeah. Well, what's your thoughts on that?
That's a really good question. I think that's going to be the limiting factor. Shout out Jordan Gisigi, limiting factor for full self-driving being adopted, say, for the next decade. However, the way I see it playing out, my opinion, I could be wrong, but the way I see it playing out is that the U.S., there's areas in the U.S. that are friendly with full self-driving. So I think cities in Arizona, there's cities in California. I think with Elon having a lot of more influence in Texas now, I think Texas is going to become a big hub for full self-driving technology because, Elon has a lot of business here, and Texas is super business friendly. So the last thing they want to do is piss off one of your best employers, right? So I think that sort of dynamic is going to create small pockets within the United States, call it, that are going to be large population centers that are going to be testing and actually using this technology in full, say, starting end of next year. That's my sort of a prediction. And then from that point forward, as the usability of that technology becomes obvious and the cost effectiveness and the safety of that technology becomes obvious, I think other jurisdictions in the United States are going to be forced to take it seriously, especially in a recessionary environment. Say next year we do go recession, and let's say we have a lot of hardships from a financial perspective because of all the stuff that's going on, and then full self-driving and self-driving cars become the obvious cost, an obvious cost benefit because they're so cheap to run. I think a lot of jurisdictions are going to have no other option but to take on the technology and work closely with companies. It doesn't just have to be Tesla, it can be whoever's making self-driving technology to make this a reality. And I think that's going to build a ton of momentum. And then in other areas, they're going to see, oh my God, like look at how happy the people are. Look at how great this technology is. This is like a no-brainer thing for us. We have to get on the train. And I think the snowball starts. So I think end of next year, we'll see legitimate use cases for FSD that are being used in places around the country. And then as the years and decades roll along, that you have the snowball effect that, probably within 20 years, everywhere is going to have some sort of rules around being able to use a full self-driving car. Let me know if that answers.
Sure. Yeah, no, that's good. Hey, do you got time for one more?
Yeah, quick one. We have somebody waiting in the deck, but yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, I don't know how long you've been invested, but, I just kind of got into this thing late last year, like December, January, beginning of the year. But, from watching you guys on YouTube and stuff like that, and my buddy's dad has an S. So I rode in that thing, and that's what sold me. I'm all in now. I think this is going to be it, and so I think I seen an article on Motley, Fool or whatever it was, talking about Tesla. If you bought Tesla, if you invested like just say 10 grand, 10 years ago, or it'd be worth like 1.1 mil. Do you think that's possible over the next 10 or 15 years for something like that again to happen?
That's a very good question. So just to give you some background, I've been invested since 2012. So I've been invested for about 10 years. And I was super lucky to catch it early and all that good stuff. So not investment advice. Don't listen to anything I say. Do your own research, right? But
yep. I should have said that. But yeah, I got you.
It's all good. The way I think about the valuation of Tesla is if full self-driving happens, which I think it will, and if bot happens, which I think it will, then a 10x plus is well within the grasp of the company simply from a valuation model and just thinking about the value those technologies are going to create, right? But it hinges on the market accepting that that's a thing. And then once it becomes a thing, then they're going to have no other choice but to assign a value to the stock based on how much money those things generate. So if full self-driving works and the bot works, the sky's the limit. So yeah, but those are the two technologies to follow to test that thesis to see if you're comfortable with it. Yeah, so that'd be my answer to your question.
Yeah, cool. All right, man. Hey, well, thanks. Take it easy.
Thank you, brother. You too, man. All right, next caller, viewer, Peter. How's it going, man?
I'm fine. Thank you. Greetings from you. And thank you very much for this live stream.
Sure. Peter,
the
you're
thing I-
cutting
the
out a
thing-
little bit. I missed where you're from.
Belgium.
Oh, Belgium. Okay, got it. Yeah, you're cutting in and out. So go ahead and ask your question. Let's see if we can hear you clearly, and then we'll see if we can make this happen. We're still there. Uh-oh, you just went red line. Okay. You just went red line on me, which means that your internet's not great on your end. But I'm going to close you out and then see if you can get that addressed on your end. You might just have to sit on a different area of your home, potentially. But yeah, good luck. All right. Last few minutes of the stream, we'll add the link again if you want to jump on and ask a question or share your thoughts. This has been a super fun stream. A lot of participation. Thank you. Thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts. And if you enjoy what you're watching so far, hit the like button and you'll get absolutely nothing except for love and gratitude. Oh, so cute. So cute. I'm so silly. I have problems. All right, let's try Peter again. Peter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm gonna try again.
I think that's better.
Okay, I had to change the Wi-Fi. Well, okay, greetings from Belgium. I follow for many years, and what I see lately is they make more and more the Hot Wheels.
Sorry, Peter, you're still cutting out a lot. You're cutting out a lot still. It's very hard to understand. It's like it's all. I don't know what you're saying. Sorry.
Wait, we're
gonna try a different spot. I'm gonna bring on somebody else that just jumped on. So and then I'll come back to you, Peter. Let's see if your connection gets better. All right. Donald, welcome back, my friend. How you doing? Yeah, you might be muted. I can't hear you. Yeah, you're muted, Donald. You're muted. Yeah, I can't hear you.
How
there
about
you go.
that?
Now he's
okay.
here. How's it going?
Okay. Oh, but also...
are you still there?
Hold on.
Okay.
Right there. Okay. Okay. So let's start this here.
Go for it.
Tesla is chum. Okay, It's been said several times. So it's going to run away with everything. But from the subject here, it will dominate. But there's a lot of things that would probably make it a little bit better. Like Tesla is, the FSD, it's like recognizing everything. But wouldn't it be cool if it recognized each other? The other Teslas that are coming, like maybe a little signal that comes. So like when it's still trying to avoid the environment, it also can coordinate with other Teslas. Maybe a Tesla is putting out an emergency signal. And so a Tesla might just kind of veer off and let that guy go through. Or, it's making its way downtown or like an emergency vehicle is going through, I can see that. But also, the tunnels that you're talking about, I agree that it's really cool, but what if Tesla made something specifically for cities and specifically for, because he said, Elon said, traffic in cities is what's the problem, not in suburbs and counties and stuff like that. Right. And so we're talking about tunnels, right? But also it's like, if there's a 3-lane road going through a city, why not make it a 4-lane or a 5-lane? Or, or 2-lane going through and make it a 3-lane. That way you get 50% more throughput. Well, how do you do that? Well, you make your cars single wide, not double wide. I don't know if this was covered. I came to the stream late.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, but that's. But
the wheelbase is like 7 feet, and a lane is 10 feet, okay, or 12 feet inside a city, right? Archimoto's like 5 feet, but if it were like 4 feet and just city specific, then you can have 2 lanes and turn it into 3, and then you have 50% more throughput. And then if they all talk to each other and all had FSD and stuff like that, in a city, you could have things going 50 miles an hour.
Right.
You know,
At
and
least.
I know Tesla can do it, you know, because they are Don't tell anybody. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So yeah, I think that there's a whole lot more levels that we need to talk about. We need to talk about city design and politics and all that other stuff from first principles, not just how things are being done.
Yeah.
You know, as everyone else trying to fit Tesla's thing into a current society. No.
Right. We'll have to go the other way.
Society to make it all first principles, and then Tesla would just fit hand in glove.
I think what's going to end up happening, though, is I think because Tesla is going to be such a, like that CHOAM sort of figure where they're going to be able to, let's just say, have a ton of influence. It's going to cause a lot of world governments and city governments and planning, so on and so forth, to have to plan for that, for the future that it's bringing, because it's going to be the dominant force in business, period. So I think it's going to cause that that relationship to happen just by, like, you almost have to go that way you just described. Like, Tesla has to build a technology, and the governments are sort of doing their own thing, but Tesla's going to get so big that the governments and planners and everything are going to have no other choice but to make the things work with the technology that the biggest company is making. Because otherwise, like, you're not, people are going to be pissed because they're like, hey, we should be able to do this, right? Why aren't we doing it? It's going to be like a 20, 30, 40-year thing for sure. It's going to take a while.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, you're 100% right that it's going to be,
I mean,
the technological improvements.
That's a long-term thing. But, you know, I would say even, self-recognition between Teslas, you know, so that they figure out how to be with each other on the road can save a lot more lives along with the FSD right at the beginning, you know, because if
100%.
one Tesla avoids another Tesla, you know, that's pretty cool. But the thing is, it still is the too wide thing, you know, not like some of the other stuff. So
for sure. Yeah.
So man. if your Tesla like sucked in to itself or broke apart, and it would just be single wide, you know, then
it'd be crazy. You'd solve so much. You would solve so much. Yeah. 100%. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I have people waiting in the queue, but I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Welcome back anytime. Thank you. All right, let's try again with Peter. Are you there? Different background. Can't hear you. Are you muted? Can't hear you at all. Can't hear you. Sorry. Oh, bummer. All right, let's see if you can post your picture in the comments. I think for some reason, I don't know if you might be muted on your end, but is there, like, you see the little mute button on the bottom of the screen? Is that muted by any chance? I can see your head shaking no, but I can't hear you. Yeah. All right. Try posting your comment in the comment section, and then we'll make sure to answer. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. Kelsey, how's it going? I can't hear you either. Are you muted by any chance? Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Hold on. No, I can't hear you. That's weird. Did my AirPods die? Could that be it? No, I can still hear them.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Does that work?
I can hear you now. Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I thought maybe like AirPods are totally screwing us here. So
what's up?
I just wanted to ask a question about like how you see 4680s increase what is that, like the charge, like how many full cycles they can do, like how playing into stabilizing the grid and kind of what that bigger picture might mean and having extra value.
Yeah. That's a really good technical question that I don't know if I have the answer to, but I think the way I think about 4680 is it's being designed to be the best technological battery, like from a specifics, like just being able to have all these different capabilities, right? And it's also designed to be the highest volume possible. I think at the core of it, 4680 is designed to just flood the market with batteries. And so from that perspective, I think in whatever use case you use that battery in, you're going to have so much of the PES technology available in that battery that it's going to allow you to do really anything in long term, not just from the cell itself being used in, say, cars or stationary batteries or whatever. The technology gains they're going to get from that cell itself, the chemistries and whatever, are also going to be used across many different product lines. Like I think long term, the best way to think about 4680 is that it's sort of like a door for Tesla to be able to make batteries for any use case ever, because they're going to produce so many freaking batteries that they're going to get so many learnings from those things that's going to be impossible for them to not use that across many different use cases. So I think somebody that would be really good at answering that question, that specific question. I don't know if you know Jordan Gisigi from The Limiting Factor.
Oh, yeah,
he would be
awesome.
Yeah, he is awesome. He might be a really good person. I'm going to have him on my channel at some point too in the coming weeks in this format as well. So make sure to come on then too, because he'll be able to, I think, answer that question directly as well. But I hope that helped. I hope that answer helped.
That's sweet. Yeah, and good job with your show. My dad and I were big fans. We're in Hawaii now, so keep it up.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you for stopping in.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Awesome. Great. Look at this. All right, let's make sure we get that question answered if it's in the comments section. I don't think it is. Okay. That's okay. Okay. All right. Almost an hour and a half in. I think this is a good place to stop. Thank you all so very much for coming on. I love this format. I'm having so much fun with you all. Oh my God. Look at this. Kelsey, come back. Jordan's on. Jordan, can you come on real quick? I think we have a question for you. Hold on. All right, I'm bringing you back in. You just got so lucky. Jordan, do you mind joining? We have a question for you, my friend. Click on this link and join us.
This
is like your lucky day. I know, right? I was going to say. It's a lucky day. Awesome. Not sure how I do that, but yeah, LOL. Okay, so he's coming on. Maybe we'll have some questions for Jordan too while he's on. Maybe people will like jump in and flood him with questions. But yeah, we'll give him a couple minutes to join in. But if there's any other questions in the comments, I think there was one in there. Oh, I think Jordan's on already. This guy works at the speed of thought. Look at this guy. All right.
Speed of. Hold on a second. I'm gonna plug my headphones in.
Okay, I'm gonna let you do that.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna plug my headphones in.
And you got that's good. That's probably why he's doing the headphones. I'm gonna wait for his face to come up too, and then we'll bring him in. Let's see. Oh, we got Lightning Ryan. Oh, we got like a whole forum now. Look at this. It's gonna be like a Ask Jordan Anything. We'll have him for a little bit though. We want to definitely be respectful of his time. So, Jordan, I have you on the screen, and I don't think we can see your face yet either, but I'm sure you're working through it. And then Lightning, we can't see your video feed, so I don't know if that's something you can fix on your end, Ryan. But yeah, I love like the spontaneous nature of these things because you never know what the hell you're gonna get, and this is like part of the fun, you know? It's chaos.
Yeah.
Are you guys getting an echo, and can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, but there's an echo.
Really? Try closing your browser and coming back in, and that you may have to also allow your video camera as well, because that's not.
I have the camera on, but for some reason it's not picking that up. I'll leave and come back in. One moment.
Okay, sounds good. All right. We got Brian back. I think Brian was on. Were you on yesterday, Brian? I can't remember.
Yesterday, the day. Days are starting to mesh together. Yesterday, the day before.
Okay. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Kids eating SpaghettiOs.
Okay,
I
nice.
think about multitasking here. Yeah.
Spaghettios are clutch.
Say what's up, Tim.
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you, but I still can't see you. But I think that might be okay, since we know what you look like.
Is there any way to choose the camera? Because there's like a few different camera options on my computer.
Yeah, there is. So if you go to settings and you go to video, you should be able to do your video input. Yeah.
This is really cool, by the way.
Thank you.
So sweet.
It is really fancy. It just works.
There he is. The most
I'm on
famous
my
mustache
phone.
in the world.
The phone just works instantly.
Hey,
Got
everybody.
him.
So what's going on? I just logged in because I saw you were live.
Yeah.
I'm working on my video to release the specs on the 4680, and I was just taking a little break, and then I heard my name. So what's the question? I don't know if I can answer or not because I don't know what it is yet.
Kelsey has a question, so we'll let Kelsey ask the question.
Yeah. I was just wondering about how you're envisioning people using basically like their 46 for like stabilizing the grid or for just like extra uses for those batteries.
Oh yeah, it's you'll be able to use that 4680 battery for anything. You just have to change the chemistry that's inside of it. So the 4680 cell itself is just, it's a container for the chemistry. And the reason they chose that container because it's larger and you can increase your manufacturing output, and you can do that more easily because there's fewer parts in each vehicle. And there's a few other tweaks to the cell design of the 4680 that allows it to be scaled and produced more quickly. So yeah, you can use that cell for anything. You just have to change the chemistry and make sure it's useful for the use case that you want to use it in. So I'm expecting them eventually to make LFP 4680s, high nickel 4680s, and that form factor, I'm assuming they thought deep into the future and it's relatively well future-proofed. So whatever chemistries come in the future, you can still use the 4680. Part of the reason why they chose that form factor is because, well, when they went from the 2170 to the 4680, the limiting factor there is heat. And the tabless electrode allowed them to expand the cell while still being able to whip the heat out of it. So I don't know if they'd ever be able to go any bigger because they may have hit the thermal limits for that battery cell. At that size, at least.
Does that have to do with like how many charge cycles you can have, like the actual form factor?
Oh, the form factor doesn't have to do with, well, in a certain sense, it does have to do with charge cycles because if it's, if you try to make a form factor too big, the form factor traps heat because there's no way to get heat in and out of that battery cell. And the more heat that you put into a battery cell, the quicker it degrades. So yeah, that's another reason why they needed that tabless electrode and why the heat is bad in the first place. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Cool. That's awesome.
Since we have you on, Jordan, how much time do we have you? Because I want to definitely be respectful with your time.
Well,
I
was about to eat some dinner, but I can hold off for a few minutes. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
a couple. Brian, did you have any questions for Jordan since we have him on? Just a couple minutes.
I mean, he says exactly what I'm thinking. Like, why did they go to that size? Of course, it's bigger, less heat. The tablets. I'm wondering, what do you think would be next? If going bigger again isn't what's next. Is this their real end goal? Is just to have the different form factors so that they have, there's not much else we need, right? Like you have your batteries for your mobile, like your vehicles, and then you have your batteries for your stationary. And I don't know, I guess just what would you think it would be in the future?
I think at least for the next few years, they're going to work on optimizing that form factor because as Elon said the other day on Twitter, the current version isn't optimized. And I think that's why maybe possibly the specs and weight of the Model Y that's coming out of Texas aren't as low as what people thought. So there's two aspects to that question. First is, there's battery cells that Tesla produces in-house and uses, and there's the battery cells that Tesla uses from other manufacturers. And as far as I can tell, Tesla is going to try to buy battery cells from every manufacturer in the world. And they're just, as I've said in the past, it's like they're going to be playing battery Tetris. It doesn't matter the size, shape, form factor of that battery cell. As long as they can turn it into a pack and put it into a vehicle, that's what they're going to do. Now, I do think there is a potential there for Tesla to go larger with an LFP form factor, because that has more thermal stability. But I don't know if that's necessary and worth their time, because it would be opportunity cost of investing all that time and energy into producing a new form factor when it would, I don't know how much extra energy density and savings that would give you at the pack level. But I do see chemistry improvements coming, especially based on what I'm saying with the teardown that I'm finishing here. I want to say more, but I can't.
Got to keep that suspense.
Yeah, so I'm going to be releasing that video for my Patreons here in the next couple of days. Hopefully, I have to finish up the video, run it by Shirley Mung, make sure she's happy with it, and then release it for Patreons and then for the broader public. But yeah, Tesla's laid down a really good first principles base with this battery cell. They've achieved really good energy density, despite the fact that the cell can of that battery cell is super thick, and it's a structural part of the battery. That's all I'm going to say now.
Nice, awesome. Thank you, Jordan. Yeah, I definitely want to keep you for much longer. I know you got dinner to do, but you remember when I sent you the message about having you and Sandy come on with like a community forum style thing? This is sort of it. So like people from the community will jump on and have like a TeslaCon part 2, but then we can really drill down topics. So if you're game for that at some point, that would be freaking awesome, because I think it'd be super fun.
This is cool, and I need to touch base with you offline, because I want to find out more about this software. This is absolutely sick. Yeah, I love it.
It's so sick. Restream.io.
Okay.
I'll tell you all about it. Yeah, I'll tell you all about it. But thank you, man. Appreciate you coming on, dude. You're like a freaking legend. Best mustache in the game.
And it's good talking to you. I haven't talked to you since Texas, and we had some really good conversations there. So
we got to catch up. We got to catch up for sure. Thank you, brother.
Cool.
Appreciate you.
Sweet. See you later.
Thank you, guys. All right. Thank you, Kelsey. Thank you, Brian. Thank you for jumping on. We'll definitely be doing these often as well, but thank you guys for jumping on as well. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. And we're going to call it right there, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you all very much. I'll be on again tomorrow with Alexandra, and then Friday with Emma Peppers, and then we'll try to do another one this week, and next week is going to be pretty crazy. We're going to have all of these every single day from that point forward. But thank you all very much. Appreciate you guys. Have a great day. Great stream. Had so much fun. Thank you guys. Mwah. Love you. Bye-bye.